Okay, guys, are you ready to rumble? I'm about to react to season 5, episode 1, No Sanctuary. It may get a bit explosive, and I'm not talking about the action on screen. I have some commentary that may get some hackles up, but bring on the debate. I love it. I love hearing from you. When you disagree with me, I'll give you a thumbs up. Doesn't mean I agree, but I'm liking that you're taking a stand and you're not afraid to debate your take on the issue. So let's get into it. Then
We should never put up the signs. We were trying to do something good. We were being human beings. What are we now, Garrett?
wow. Those screams are horrific. So Gareth and his friends look like they're in the same containers that Rick and the others are being held in. And we see them listening to the screams. I'm thinking of their fellow group member being assaulted. I'm assuming that the woman's screams, or it could be several women, are being sexually assaulted. That guttural, just terrified, it's unimaginable, and they have to listen and hear that torture being done to one of their own. And he said we should not have put up a sign. So it looks like they were offering sanctuary in the beginning, but the different characters, the devolution of humanity, of civilization, no laws, as we've seen with breakdown of law and civilization, the worst of people. We're seeing the worst of humanity. We see it now when we supposedly have our civilization still intact. So can you imagine no deterrence because there's no accountability? We saw it with Joe and his group. So it could be people like them went to supposedly get sanctuary, but they went there to prey on whoever was there and take their stuff, as will be exposed to another group like the ones Garrett's group is dealing with now. Will be exposed to another group in season 7. But it looks like in response to what happened to them, they decided to be worse monsters, to beat the monsters that they were dealing with. And as we've seen since the second season of The Walking Dead, the zombies aren't the ones to really fear. It's other human beings. And that tells you everything. But has it really changed? We are not in a zombie apocalypse, and we're living with others, constantly seeking a way to oppress others. So same monsters, same demons. Now.
Wink and a nod from the head asshole in charge. They pulled their guns and was right back to our regularly scheduled shitstorm.
Abraham has such a way with words.
Before they put you in here, you didn't see Tyrese? No. Good.
Black car with a white cross painted on it. I tried to follow it.
But she's alive?
She's alive.
So Sasha and Maggie are asking about Tyrese and Beth. Sasha is glad that Tyrese was nowhere near Terminus. No one saw him near Terminus. And Maggie's happy to know that Beth is alive. So finally, Daryl is given some answer. He didn't give Rick any answer of where she was, but he was like, okay, a black and white car took her. Better answer than she's gone. Looks like they're trying to make weapons.
The four of them pricks coming our way.
Go for their eyes first, then their throats.
Rick says go for their eyes first, then their throats. Ooh.
Backs to the walls and either into the car. Now!
Oh. Tear gas? Oh my gosh. That was so they came up they were expecting them to come through the doors, but they caught them by surprise. They came from the top. And that hit that Rick got on the head. Ooh. Gross. They're cutting up a body. So the only way they could corral Rick and his group was to gas them. They're totally passed out because they couldn't handle them. But that's how they're doing it. Oh, there's the kid that Rick gave his watch to. Why did they focus on Glenn after that guy swung his bat? Oh no, the young guy, he's up first. Oh! Thing that I remember thinking the most during this part of the episode was that the only way for them to get out of this was they needed a distraction. Just like when Joe and the Claimers had Rick, Michonne, and Carl in a bind, I thought they needed a distraction, and Daryl came in and offered that distraction. So Daryl saved them in that way. So I kept thinking they needed a distraction. Who was out there that could bring on that distraction? And Sasha asked about Tyrese. We know Tyrese and Beth and Carol are out there, so the distraction had to come from one of them. Okay, that kid got hit over the head severely, so at least he is hopefully blacked out so that he won't feel what they're doing to him, because this is horrific. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is disgusting. That didn't look like blood. It was a bit too thin and not red enough. And I'm talking about the blood going down the drain didn't look like real blood. It looked too watery, too thin, and the color wasn't exactly right. Usually oxygenated blood is bright red. Quick observation. Rick has like a shank in his hand, but how can he get it? Oh, I was just gonna say, how would he be able to use it with his hands tied? But maybe it is to help free his hands. They need a distraction to pause the slaughter.
Hey guys,
Okay, so one distraction here, and it's by Gareth.
what were your shot counts? 38.
Glenn is next. Oh my gosh, stop him, somebody.
Hey,
Okay, Garrett stopped it.
your shot count?
Hey, don't talk to me!
What?
You don't have to do this, man.
Can't go back, Bob. Saw you going to the woods with a bag. What was in it?
Guns. Look at Rick's face.
Let me take you out there. I'll show you.
Rick said, I'll show you.
There's guns in it. Machete with a red handle. That's what I'm gonna use to kill you.
He's gonna use the machete with the red handle to kill you, Gareth. That's what he said.
You have 2 hours to get them on the dryers.
Come on, distraction. Gunshots.
Hey, Chuck?
Stop. Yep, another gunshots. Distraction. They need distraction. There's the explosion. There it is. Just needed a distraction. Now we're gonna go back to see how the distraction was caused.
Close.
It's gonna come from one of these two, Tyrese and Carol.
I'm gonna get you both there. Make sure you're safe.
Or Judith.
But I'm not gonna stay.
So she said she's gonna, once they get to Terminus and Sanctuary, that she's not gonna stay because, of course, of what she revealed to Tyrese, that she murdered Karen. It makes sense. It would be difficult for, even though Tyrese forgave her, it would be difficult to constantly be around her. Every time he looks at Carol, he would probably remember how he lost Karen. That makes sense.
I can't. Not yet.
Why can't he? It's
You don't have to be.
exactly. It's a walker. It's not a human being. You know, I'm telling you, I cannot stand what the writers in The Walking Dead do to black men. It's just so insidious. Yes, of course, the characterization and the story is a bit different for live action than it is in the comics. And I'm not saying that it should follow the comics directly, because for me, the show is better written than the comics, and a lot of the characters are much better. Glenn is much better. Michonne is 100 times better. Rick is better. The Rick in the comics is not a character that I liked, much less love. All the characters in the comics were just ridiculous. If I told you some of the things that some of the characters did, Carol, what she did, an instance where she was begging to be with Rick and Lori, it was just a mess. The writing in the comic is very misogynistic, very immature, appeals a lot to incels. But one thing I can give it credit for was that the black men were not so ridiculously weak and helpless as they are in the show. So it's like you trade one disgrace for another. Tyrese was not this oversensitive crybaby that was afraid of his shadow and everything was, I can't, oh my God. Tyrese was Rick's right-hand man. He was tough and he was a fighter. And here we have this big giant guy, former football player, and they have him being so insipid. And I think part of it is because they added a character in the position where Tyrese and subsequently Abraham would be, which is Rick's right-hand man, and that is Daryl. Daryl filled that space early on, so it was already taken, but still, there was more they could do with Tyrese and Abraham. But here, Carol was no longer in the story, and they had to find something to do with her because they kept her in the story. They took out Sophia and left Carol, and it was the reverse in the comics. Carol was taken out and Sophia remained. So there was no story model, story path for Carol to take. So they took away arcs that other characters had and inserted these characters that were not in the story at this point. So the heroic acts of certain characters like Abraham and the RPG, Daryl got that. Here they're giving Carol the let me take care of business, kill the walkers. She's going to be given the credit for the rescue. Daryl was credited for rescuing Rick and Michonne and Carl, Joe and the Claimers, and here we have Carol given that position. She's issued a distraction. Not Tyrese, but I guess they needed something for Carol. They needed a redemption arc for Carol in the eyes of the other characters. Rick banished her, so what other way to have him take her back into the group than if she afforded the opportunity to save their lives? But that irked me. The way they wrote Tyrese, they did not have to diminish him so much just to prop up another character. And that's one of the issues started to have with The Walking Dead. In order to prop one character, they often try to devalue or make invisible or hold back the characteristics and the strength of other characters. It got annoying, and it also influenced how I felt about the characters that they were forcefully trying to prop up. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Let's follow the story. More. And look at them. They give Tyrese the baby to basically babysit while Carol does the fighting. Please, look at that big hefty man. Football player, linebacker, a defensive position. Yeah, right. Just hope Judith keeps quiet. The gunshots. So I'm thinking the gunshots are when Rick was shooting at the Terminus gang, and then they started shooting back the snipers and others that were in position started rounding up Rick, Michonne, Carl, and Daryl. So that's what Carol and Tyrese heard, which is a good thing because they would have headed into Terminus and gotten trapped also. It's too bad that Rick, Michonne, and Daryl, and Carl didn't get that opportunity to hear another group fighting back. So they would have been in the same position as Carol and Tyrese and been able to not only know to stay away, but watch from a distance and rescue the others that were there. Yeah, it's just a matter of fortunate timing. So the walkers are now headed towards the noise. They're very fortunate that Judith stayed quiet. She's probably sleeping, but that gunshot would have woken her up.
A gunfire. Could have been from Terminus.
Could have been from Terminus. Where else would it have been?
Someone was attacking them.
Attacking them?
Or they were attacking someone.
Mm-hmm. That's the one.
I'm gonna get in.
The baby is still tuckered out, so the gunfire didn't wake her up. Whose car is this?
Crap, you're on your own, Martin.
Oh, explosives. So that's where the explosives come from.
I knew the chick with the sword was bad news. It looked like a weapon with a weapon.
He called Michonne a weapon with a weapon. The chick with the sword.
Yeah, I told Albert I want the kid's hat after they bleed him out.
So him saying he wants the kid's hat after they bleed him out and the woman with the sword would actually clue Tyrese and Carol that Michonne, Carl, and the group are probably at Terminus. So that guy yapping away was a good thing.
We're friends with the chick with the sword and the kid in the hat.
Exactly as I thought. She said we're friends with the chick with the sword and the kid in the hat.
Who else do you have? Do you know their name?
We just have the boy and the samurai, that's it.
They just have the boy and a samurai. The kid and the samurai. Michonne and Carl have such distinctive characteristics that they can use as identifying markers. That's a cool thing.
I haven't gotten used to it.
Of course you haven't. You're the kind of guy who saves babies.
You're the kind of guy that saves babies. He's trying to manipulate Tyrese, and I hate how they're writing Tyrese. Oh my gosh.
You're a good guy. That's why you're gonna die today. That's why the baby's gonna die.
That walker is stuck, but seeing Carol, oh, she's masked with the smell. Because I'm like, seeing her, he would probably go, oh, I want some food. But I forgot she's masked with their blood. And there she's seeing them take Rick and Glenn. Oh, this is taking them out of the container. So group was able to see Rick and the others. So they were around the perimeter, not just the perimeter inside, but they were around outside. So how is it now they're not outside to see Carol on the perimeter? Because they saw Rick and Michonne and the others bury the guns. So they're not on watch or convenient plot point. It's propane. So she shoots the propane then. With the firecracker. So that offered the distraction. So that's what they needed, a distraction. So... Rick should be able to get the tie cut now.
These guys aren't going anywhere.
Stay here until I know what's happening.
So we just sit here?
Come on, Rick. So why doesn't he get up? Was he injured? Eating his face. Gross. I don't see why he couldn't get up. There's Carol walking in with them now.
You there, Gareth?
He's busy.
Come on, Rick. You got the distraction you needed.
Security, that ain't our job. This is. Hey.
And these dummies fighting while Rick is getting free.
What?
There you go. There you go. There you go. Yep, that's all Rick needed, the distraction. Then he'll take care of business. Yes, free Glenn.
What the hell is going on?
Someone hit him. Maybe our people got free.
My dad's gonna be back.
We need to get ready to fight our way out with them when they do.
Why is Michonne smiling? Oh, Carol shot that guy. So the walkers, this is another thing that I didn't even remember about this episode. And I can't believe people watch this episode over and over. I think this is the second time I've watched it since the first time it aired. People watch this episode all the time and they don't note that the herd coming into Terminus was drawn there by the gunfire between Rick and the Terminus group. The herd helped a lot in taking down Terminus, and the herd were brought in not by Carol. The herd was brought in by the gunfire that was already taking place between Rick's group and the Terminus group. That gunfire trying to herd Rick, Michonne, Daryl, and Carl into the container. So when the herd heard the gunfire, they headed towards Terminus. Carol shooting the propane tank and using the fireworks from what the guy was setting up really helped cause that explosion, which was the main distraction. It was a couple of gunfire. She shot at the propane tank several times because she missed the first couple times. So that gave them an initial pause, but they were going to continue. But the explosion really rocked them, which caused them to say, okay, let's go investigate what's going on. Carol gets the credit for that distraction, just as Daryl got the credit for the distraction with Joe and the Claimers. So in that capacity, they were both heroes that saved the group. Now, this is where I disagree with the majority of the conversations surrounding this episode, is that people love to say Carol single-handedly took down Terminus, that she blew up all of Terminus and saved everybody and took down the whole Terminus compound. What show were you watching? She offered the distraction that stopped the killing of Rick, Bob, Daryl, and Glenn in the slaughterhouse. But the horde and Rick and the group killed off the people in Terminus. So she did not single-handedly take down Terminus. The explosion didn't blow up all of Terminus. So this narrative that she is the biggest badass in the show and she single-handedly destroyed all of Terminus and all the people in Terminus, I'm just like, okay, hyperbole. She caused a distraction that allowed Rick and the others to get a handle of the Terminus group and take them down. Just like Daryl caused a distraction which helped Rick and Michonne get a handle of Joe and the Claimers and take them down. It was just too much hyperbole surrounding this episode, and I think it came from people being so anxious and so relieved that they were rescued. But come on, the discourse got ridiculous, and then because of that, because of the push of a certain narrative, the writers started playing into that hyperbole, and the character became a bit farcical in the sense of they started giving her actions and stuff to do that did not fit the physicality of the character. It became ridiculous, and then they were giving other characters dialogue to support this hyperbole, and it just brought the show into a space of the ridiculous. Again, I'm getting ahead, but I'll show you the instances where it started to get ridiculous.
What the hell are these people?
They ain't people.
Daryl said, they aren't people. They're cannibals. Oh my gosh, look at that body. Oh my goodness.
Cross any of these people, you kill them. Don't hesitate. They won't.
Rick said, you come across any of them, kill them. Don't hesitate, because look, this is what they do to other people. These people, you can't leave them alive to come back like the governor. They would keep returning. They've lost their humanity. They're not coming back.
We run, we can get by them. They're distracted. We gotta let those people out. That's still who we are. It's gotta be.
Glenn is telling him, you know, we have to let those people out because Rick is just thinking about his family, Michonne and Carl, and his group, you know, his extended family. Glenn is reminding him that, listen, we look out for our own, but you got to help those people and free them, Rick. Come on. Who is that? He's mad? What is this? Oh my gosh, Walker got him. She recognizes Rick's watch. And there's Daryl's crossbow.
Wait here.
Smart going, Rick. Rick using the rear view mirror. Rick using the rear view side mirror. Good one, Daryl. Rick needs one of those guns. Okay, there you go. See, there was no single-handedly taking down Terminus. Caused a distraction, saved Rick and the group's life in a slaughterhouse, but Rick and the others handled business also. So I don't know where this narrative is like single-handedly blew up the whole of Terminus and single-handedly took down all the termites. No, I cannot stand hearing it because it's not the truth. I'm watching the episode and what I'm seeing is that this group came together. Rick kicked butt and handled business. And thankfully for Carol causing the distraction, which allowed the butchers to get distracted so Rick could turn on them and handle business. So there you go.
We don't have to double back.
Right? So now they have weapons. Rick says they have to double back. Go get your group, Rick. Oh yeah, I remember this now. Carol entered the room and she was fighting some woman. I guess, oh, the woman that greeted Rick in the beginning. That red-headed woman. She missed her. Because if she had gotten her, she'd be dead. And the fight that happened. See, yeah, this fight is realistic. She doesn't have that physicality. She's not a warrior. She's a manipulator, but she's not a warrior. Future episodes that lean into that, it didn't look realistic. What they had her doing and who they had her beating physically in fights, it looked so bad. The writers were basically like making the show into a cartoon. I'm not putting the blame on Carol. I'm putting the blame on the writers because she's not the only character that they did it with. But here, her struggling with this woman is realistic. I don't blame her fans for being hyperbole in their conversations, pushing their favorite character, but that the writers bought into it and changed the complexion of the show because of it, that wasn't a good thing for the show.
It was a sanctuary. People came and took this place.
Just tell me when.
And they raped. And they killed. And we fought and we got it back. And we heard the message.
So here this woman just told Carol what I was saying from the intro to the episode, that it was a real sanctuary, but because they were horrifically assaulted and attacked, she's saying, heard the message. And the message was do the same thing to the people that they did to you. No, the message should have been get rid of those people, get rid of the monsters. Don't become the monsters. No, you heard the wrong message, ma'am. And could someone tell me, the woman, I guess probably because she had red hair and the side ponytail, is that the same woman from the artwork that Carl gave Michonne? Or is that just a foreshadowing? Because she sort of this woman looks older, but I guess because of the hairstyles, she looks like the woman in the portrait. Was there any confirmation or discussion about that painting and if if it had any ties to Terminus and this character. If anyone knows, please share it with us in the comments and we can discuss that.
You're the butcher. Or you're the cattle.
The men they pulled from that train car, where are they?
You're the butcher or you're the cattle. No, that was not the message, because human beings do not eat other human beings, madame. And Carol is just like, whatever, where are my people?
Where are they?
Ooh, she shot her in her leg.
You lead people here and you take what they have and you kill them? Is that what this place is?
No, not at first.
No, it's worse. They're cannibals. Now she let the walkers in to get her. Carol is still covered in the walkers' guts, so she could bypass them. And there is the smoke still dark, so it's still burning. Mika taught us that. Sweet Mika. Tyrese, pay attention. Gosh, I'm so frustrated at what they're doing with this character.
Go outside.
So frustrating.
Cynthia, do you copy?
There's no Cynthia. Oh, poor Judith. Oh, sweetheart. You leave that baby alone. Yes. Linebacker. You saw that defensive move? Yet they have this man going around, oh, poor me. No.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Look what Tyrese did to those walkers. Single-handedly. With no weapon, just these.
What's the cure, Eugene?
It's classified.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
That's true. It's like, suppose you don't survive, Eugene, telling us the cure, you know, they could come across another scientist. He shouldn't be just the one to hold that classified information. Share it with the group.
You leave him be.
Shut up. Sasha and Michonne are right. Come on, because one person shouldn't keep such valuable information if he has such valuable information.
Even if I told you all, even if I provided step-by-step instructions complete with illustrations and a well-composed FAQ when I went Red Ring, the cure would still die with me.
I'm not gonna let that happen.
That makes no sense. They should know right then and there. He's BSing, because if you gave everything, all the details, it should be reproducible, because he is not the cure. He says he knows the cure. So it's knowledge. So sharing the knowledge, it wouldn't die with you, Eugene.
But we just want to hear it.
Right.
You don't have to.
You're dumb, Abraham and Rosita. Oh.
I was part of a 10-person team at the Human Genome Project that weaponized diseases to fight weaponized diseases. I'm keenly aware of all the details behind fail-safe delivery systems to kill every living person on this planet. I believe with a little tweaking on the terminals in DC, we can flip the script.
Yay, Rick Grimes. Do you see who Rick waits to see is following behind Carl? Then he follows protectively behind her and Carl. Carl says here. Yeah. See, Rick rescued the group from the container and took down more of the Terminus group. I think some got hit. Gareth escapes being hit, I think. Yeah, the group fought their way out. Terminus was not taken down. Walkers came in and took it over. The explosion caused the distraction. Rick got himself out and the group out, and Rick, with that great trick with the rearview mirror, got a gun from one of the termites and took out the rest of them, let the walker finish them off, and then he went and got his group out of the container. Carol caused the distraction, just like Daryl caused a distraction, which allowed Rick to get the upper hand, and Rick took out the majority of the Terminus gang. The Horde took the rest, so it was not one character that took down Terminus. So this narrative, people, become media literate. It's there in front of your eyes. It's not what you want to happen, it's what happens. Thanks for Carol that brought in that distraction, just like I was thanking Daryl for being the distraction with the claimers, which helped save them, and Carol causing the distraction helped save the group at Terminus. But she did not single-handedly take down Terminus. Badass at Terminus was Rick Grimes. Because even with the distraction, if Rick Badass Grimes did not get free and free his friends, they would still have died. And the Horde and even the Terminus group could have still gotten to those containers and shot it up and killed our group there, because Carol didn't get to them before Rick did. So she did not single-handedly take down Terminus. She did not wipe out the groups. The distraction and time that Carol bought him, Rick was able to save his family and his group. So miss me with Carol is the biggest badass in The Walking Dead. That is just unequivocally not true. You know.
The hell we still around here for? Guns, some supplies. Go along the fences, use the rifles, take out the rest of them. Rick, we got out. It's over.
No, it's not over, Glenn.
It's not over till they're all dead.
Right. I agree with Rick. Yeah, Rick is saying get the rifles and take out the rest of the Terminus gang that remains, because they don't get to live. In this, Rick is correct, because these people are inhumane, are hunting people to kill and eat. These are people that you cannot leave to come back, and they will come back because they will hunt people down to do exactly what they were doing at Terminus. Rick finally learned his lesson from the governor. You cannot leave this cancer lingering. No.
The fences are down. They'll run or die.
And again, Maggie still didn't learn, because she was the one saying also, we don't need to go after the governor. Come on, wake up. Your father is dead. You would think should have learned her lesson. And there's Carol. Oh, look at Daryl hugging her. Norman Reedus gave an interview and said the way he played this scene was that he ran and hugged Carol, and he said he put his head into the crook of her neck as he would a son with his mother. I told you, Daryl sees Carol as the sister he never had. Remember, his mother was neglectful, and Carol, as I said, you know, there's some siblings, especially older siblings, that sort of take on that nurturing motherly or fatherly role, even though there may not be this huge age gap. I think because Carol is a mother, Carol sees something in Daryl where she was drawn to him. I don't know if at first she was attracted, could be, but after that joke that she and Daryl had where Daryl was like, stop, you know, whatever, she realized there's no there. She just bonded. She became very close to Daryl and came to love him, care for him. Now they're bonded for life, as, you know, Rick told Daryl that he is his brother. They're family now. The same applies with Daryl and Carol. Daryl sees Carol as his family, and Carol sees Daryl as her family. I agree wholeheartedly with Norman Reedus. That's the true heart of the relationship between Carol and Daryl. I can see it. I can see it in the hug. He became childlike. He became like a little boy. That's the key. Carol brings out the boy in Daryl, the boy that is seeking love from his parent, love from his brother. He didn't have a healthy relationship with his blood family. Carol offers a sort of safe space for that wounded little boy to feel that familial love. See that? He described it perfectly. Rick is so shocked and happy to see her.
Did you do that?
Yes, she caused the explosion. She gave you that distraction that you needed, Rick. Oh. Thank you, he said.
You have to come with me.
Oh, she's taking them to Judith. There's Tyrese and Judith. Rick cannot believe his eyes. Oh. Sasha running to Tyrese and Carl running to Judith. Oh. Rick is crying. He can't believe it. Michonne watching her boys. Rick thanking Tyrese. He did save Judith's life. He can't believe it. The baby is like, what's going on? Oh my gosh. She's like, Mom, come and get me. I know what's going on here. Oh,
What happened?
look at Michonne with Judith and Rick and Carl. I tell you, that little family unit. Don't believe me? It's what I'm seeing here on screen.
There were a bunch of walkers out here, and he got his hands around Judith's neck. No, he's dead. I had to.
So Tyrese did kill him? I thought he had lived somehow. It's been a long time since I've watched this show. I have not watched it since I watched it originally. So some of this I don't remember. Some I remember clearly, some I don't. So for some reason I thought that Tyrese had allowed him to live. So Tyrese telling her that he killed him was shocking to me. I know he was punching him. I would have died with one punch from Tyrese, but plot point, the way they've been portraying Tyrese as this soft teddy bear, which is so unrealistic in the terms of the power this man has.
I don't know if the fire's still burning.
It is.
We need to go. Yeah, but where? Somewhere far away from there.
So Rick got distracted because remember, he was going to have everyone weapon up and go back in and take care of everyone. But with him reuniting with Judith, he's just like, okay, we got to go. And as Carol said, it's still burning. So probably he's thinking if fire will take care of them. But his first reaction was the right one. But I don't know, I guess with Judith there, he's probably thinking, I can't leave her to go off and fight right now. Who is he going to leave her with? As we're going to see, he was right, because if you don't take care of the cancer will spread or come back. You got to cut it off. And here we have Abraham and Rosita.
We'll talk to him.
They don't look,
Not just yet.
looks like they're itching to go back to continue on their mission with Eugene. Carl, Michonne, and Judith. Where's Rick? Oh, he's back there. No sanctuary, is that what he's gonna write? Let me see the sign. No sanctuary, yes. So that's what he stayed back to do. Then,
It's okay.
oh, that was that redhead woman. Oh, is that Garrett's mother? Because he said mom.
It's not again.
Not again, oh my gosh. Just monsters, all of them.
You're either the butcher or the cattle.
Oh, that woman went crazy. When Garrett said, we're either the butcher or the cattle, she was like, oh, She went crazy. Her trauma. She was telling Carol she got the message. No, you didn't get the message. The message is that people can be monsters. Becoming a monster does not get rid of the other monsters. It increases the amount of monsters in the world. That's all it does. Anyway, it was a great episode. I'm glad our group is back together. Yay for Carol causing that distraction, which allowed Rick to get the upper hand, and Rick was able to save the group. So thanks to Carol, just like prior with Joe and the Claimers, thanks to Daryl. But the group is there, the group saves each other from the get-go, because none of them would be alive if Morgan didn't save Rick. None of them would be alive if Glenn didn't save Rick. None of them wouldn't be alive if Rick didn't save them. It's just a ripple effect. The explosive that Rick got out of the tank, which Carol found in his uniform, and which was what blew out the window to get them out of the CDC before it exploded. And it's just on and on. Rick getting them through the harsh winter, coming up with the strategy to take over the prison, leading them to survive the governor the first time, helping others. You're planting the seed that will spring up and bear fruit to provide and help everyone. So you reap what you sow. Sowing evil, that's what you're going to reap. Helping each other, doing good for each other, that's what you're going to reap. If we continue on this cycle of good, it keeps being reciprocated. That's the fruit that will be born. So I don't know why people attribute salvation to only Carol and make this episode as the be all and end all, the defining moment for the whole group in terms of this is the act which is the most important act throughout the whole series, and it's the act that supersedes all other acts. It makes no sense, and it's a narrative that's been pushed and abused and devolved into the ridiculous. And that's my opinion. That's my take on No Sanctuary. And as I told you, it would be a controversial take because it doesn't fit the narrative that was pushed. And surprisingly, I remembered when I was watching the show during the original air dates of the show, as so many people were watching The Walking Dead, I had friends watching The Walking Dead along with me. And because of the discourse I was seeing online, I somewhat questioned what I saw, but surprisingly and thankfully, in my opinion, because it showed me my friends were independent thinkers and had media literacy, which is good because my friends are in the industry. They too saw what I saw, and they too became annoyed with the show because of how the writers started to switch the focus and play into the narrative which supported the online discourse instead of writing the story as they intended, and that fit the characterization of the characters and the foundation of the show. Some of my friends even fell off from watching the show. They pointed out their annoyance with certain characters and how the show was just losing its focus and leaning into certain characterizations, which made the show become a bit, in their opinion, cartoonish and inauthentic. But let me know. I am very curious about your take on the episode. I'm also curious on your take on my take. And I know not everyone will be pleased. All I ask is for us to be courteous and respectful in our discourse. Remember, it's a show. The characters are not real. So I know we're passionate about our favorite characters. This is not about liking or disliking any actor. It's about the writing for the characters, the writing for the show, and how it affects the story and the show. Again, this is not a slight against the actors. If I have a critique about what I see an actor doing with a character, I'll make that clear and make sure to try to do it respectfully, because there's no need to put anyone down. In this reaction, I'm not putting down any actors. I'm not even putting down any character. I'm critiquing the writing and the discourse horse around what played out in the episode versus what people claim played out in the episode. So fire away. I know this is gonna be a controversial one, so let's get into it. And that's the name of the channel, A Different Take, and I enjoy reading your takes because so far from the commentary that I've seen on my channel in response to videos that I've put up, you guys are hella intelligent. Some even have me thinking, yeah, I may be off here or there, you know? So bring it on. Thank you for even watching and thank you for participating. You guys are fantastic. So one of our commentators, CSMTC Queen, commented, "It is funny on rewatch the subtleties you pick up, which I am so sad I didn't see in real time. Rick and Michonne are alone by the fire and talking, and Rick still can't maintain eye contact with her. I didn't see that. You picked that up. Thank you. Remember how we discussed Rick is in love with Michonne, but feels that the feelings aren't reciprocated, and the tentative moves he made towards her to spend more time with her were rebuffed, but she wasn't really rebuffing him, you know, but he took it as that. And he's treading very carefully around Michonne because he doesn't want to scare her off. He invited her into his family to be a family with him and Carl. She said yes. And even before that invitation, he saw the special relationship between Carl and Michonne, and he doesn't want to in any way disrupt that because Michonne has a tendency to leave. You know, Michonne was always leaving, so he doesn't want to run her off. So he is very, very careful around her. And so picking up on that, which them by the fireside talking, he's not making eye contact with her. That was a huge catch that Rick is holding back around Michonne, and he's tampering down his feelings to allow himself to live with her in this platonic space for the sake of Carl. By the fireside in the dark, how do you not let your feelings come out, show? You avoid eye contact. Wow. Thank you so much for that insight. Oh, I love romance, and this romance is the top of the tops. They make me feel so mushy inside. I love them. I love them so much. I love their little family. Anyway, I've gone on long enough for this episode. I can't wait to see the reaction that you guys have to my reaction. I'll see you on the next episode. And by the way, I've already started writing the notes and recording the scenes for the Rick and Laurie versus Rick and Michonne video. I don't want to do that video too early, though I'm already prepping for it because there are scenes that are in episodes that I haven't reacted to yet. So I don't want to put that video out before we've reacted to those scenes. So I'm working on it already, and I've already written and I'm recording scenes for the Michonne, Rick, and Jesse video. That's going to be a doozy. I can't wait to get to those episodes because I'll be revealing some huge facts in the reaction to the episodes, but I also will be doing a separate video compiling everything together. So I can't wait to get to those episodes. Guys, you're going to be blown away by the things that I've noted about that very controversial relationship. We're getting there. We're in season 5. We're getting there. Thank you for watching. Oh, the full reaction will be on Patreon. Come and join us there. Thank you, Cam J. Thank you, Diane Suggs. Thank you, Sandrine Dutriox. Am I pronouncing your name correctly, Sandrine? And I'm looking into those captions for you. I've read up on some things and I have some work to do. I don't fully understand how to get it done yet without writing out the full transcript myself because the automated way has been disabled on my channel. So I don't know. I'm looking into it because I can't wait to put the caption so everyone can enjoy it. French is the first one on my to-do list after I get the English captions done because that has to be there first to be translated to the other languages. Please like, share, subscribe. I love doing these videos for you and wish I could do it full time so it could get more coming out, but the channel has to grow for that to happen. So thank you. I appreciate you sharing your time here on my channel and on Patreon. I appreciate you ladies and gentlemen so much, and I wish you all the best. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and please take care of yourselves. Bye.